Oh. This beautiful monstrosity is the custom loop that Corsair peer pressured me into building like 3 months ago. And it's a majestic system. It's got a Ryzen 9 5900X in it with 64 gigs of like DDR4 4000, I think. It's a crazy RAM kit. And in terms of a graphics card, it's got the rarefied reference RX 6800 in there, which is a beautiful graphics card that I had to do a whole bunch of bartering to get. Now, considering that for the last couple of months I've been using this as my editing rig and I use Premiere Pro, that RX 6800 is essentially just a glorified display adapter at this point, which is a real shame because it's such a beautiful graphics card. So I decided to reach out again to the person who I bartered this card from and said, "Hey, Wallman, I don't know, does your dad want his RX 6800 back?" And he was like, "Of course he wants his 6800 back." And considering that my other video idea for today fell through because I didn't research it properly before embarking on the video idea like the complete papega that I am, we're gonna do this instead. Yay! There we go. So with that, let's drain this loop and start tearing it apart. I mean, just the graphics card. The rest of the loop is still gonna stay. Now the first thing that we have to do is drain the loop so that we can get that graphics card out of here. Now I am going to maintain the rest of the loop. I'm just going to swap that graphics card out, probably for an air-cooled one in the meantime, because I do need to use this system for work. But yeah, hopefully draining is going to be quite easy to do. I'm thinking of using this fitting here, just taking the back off with a funnel and then kind of draining it out. That shouldn't be too much of a problem, considering that this is basically outside of the case already, right? So yeah, let's give that a try and see what happens. Okay, so I have my bucket and funnel ready so that we can get started with our lizard draining. So the first thing is I'm just gonna put some of that down there so that if we do spill, at least it will help slow down the movement of the water a little bit. Now I am a professional, so I do like to prepare in this fashion. I'm sure you're all very impressed. Hopefully this angle is better. I want you to have the clearest view possible of when things go wrong. So let's try. Oh, actually, I've inadvertently been quite smart about this because I still need to open pressure somewhere else in the loop so that it'll. That was real smart, actually. There you go. There you go. And you can see the level dropping over here. And then I just need to undo this one, and then we can just pop it out, right? Oh, it's still plugged into the RGB. Oh no! Okay, that's fine. It's fine. There's only minimal spillage on the card. That's also, oh, that's dripping a lot now. Okay. Oh, it's free. Okay. Yeah, there we go. We've got the GPU out. That was only semi-disastrous. So what I'm gonna do now is replace these two shorter lengths of tube by cutting a new one that'll run from over here to over here. Now I actually think the pump flows in this direction, so it's gonna kind of push it up there. It's just an interim solution for the time being. Now it needs to be long enough so that there's enough flexibility for me to fit a GPU in there, which should be fine. Okay, so I find the easiest way to make like an accurately lengthed run with Softline is you pop one end in. Come on! It's always surprisingly difficult to get these fittings to lock around the tubing. Come on. You can do it! Let's make it a little bit longer. Let's do it like this, so that there's enough flexibility for me to fit a GPU in here. There we go. Okay, we're making some progress. I've closed the loop up. It doesn't look amazing, but there's more than enough space for this little RTX 3060 that I'm gonna use in here. It has an NVENC new encoder in it, which will help for Premiere Pro, and I should be able to do a bit of 4K gaming on it. But now, before I put that back in, I just want to add an additional SSD in here, because at the moment I just have a 500 gig NVMe drive in here, which, considering that every video project is like 250 gigs, that runs out real fast. So I'm going to drop in this MP600 core, which is like a 1 terabyte drive for all of my video editing projects and stuff. Hey, would you look at that? We have gotten rid of a lot of the air that was trapped in the CPU block. There's still a little bit up there, but I've spent the last like half an hour cycling the pump with the system in various configurations, and it's also got a lot of air out of both of the radiators. So I think it's fine for the time being. In a week from now, I'll probably do the same thing again to get rid of the last bit of air buildup in there. But before we have a look at the temperatures, let's just put the air cooler back on that RX 6800 and get it ready to ship. Oh, so many screws. I'm not the young man that I used to be. All this screwing is going to be a bit of a challenge. Ooh, there is the back of our reference PCB RX 6800. Oh, look at that chunky GPU die. What a beautiful graphics card. Okay, so now we're gonna have to clean off the thermal paste, and then we can put the air cooler back on, and then we can send it back to Mr. Warman's dad. Oh crap, I actually completely forgot about the graphene pad that the stock cooler uses to interface with the GPU. And as you can tell, in the process of removing the cooler last time, I actually broke it a bit. So yeah, I'm gonna have to clean that off. Oh, sploosh. Listen to that primo material sound. Now, these are really difficult to clean off because you kind of have to scratch them off, but you don't want to damage the copper underneath. That's kind of why I got that far and just gave up on it, but I'm gonna have to deal with it now. I'm just gonna like gently use my nail to kind of peel it off, because I don't want to use like a metal tool and then scratch the copper underneath. Wow, that actually worked really well. Okay, I don't know why I didn't try that before. My fingers are all graphene-y now, but that's fine. Then we're gonna use some cleaning liquor to wipe it down. Oh, I just spilled cleaning liquor all over my crotch. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, that is such a short fan cable, AMD. That's so irritating. Look at how short and annoying the fan cable is. That makes it really difficult to put the cooler back together, but anyway. And there we go. It's been restored to its former luster. It only took me like 2 or 3 attempts to get all the screws in the correct place, but yeah, it looks good, and I think Warman's dad will be happy to get his card back. Yeah, I should probably test it to see if it works before I send it out. And then we still need to check what kind of thermals we're getting on the custom loop. Now, temperatures, as is always the case with a Dawid loop, they're much worse than you'd expect for some reason. Now, despite the fact that that 5900X has more radiator surface area available to it than a small country, we're still getting 64C on IDA 64. It's actually jumped up to 65C now. It feels pretty weird complaining about 64 degrees Celsius on a 12-core CPU, but you know, I do feel like it should be lower. Maybe at some point I'll like lap the CPU in the block and see if that makes a difference. I don't know. I don't know if I could be asked to do that because quite frankly the temperatures are low enough and it's an editing machine, so it's fine. It also runs pretty quiet, right? It's really unobtrusive for the temperatures. So yeah, I may just leave it like that, which brings me to the end of the video. So thank you very much for watching, and until the next video, bye-bye.